Maraming salamat sa araw na ito na pinagbuklod mo ang aking palanggang Maharlikans at mga puting ahas. Naunawaan po namin kung bakit pinahintulutan mo na magkaroon ng Pilipinas ng under Desaya, walang dignidad, walang isang salita, makapal ang mukha at mambubudol na presidente upang makita namin ang masamang layunin ng administrasyong kuting, ahas at mga kasabwat nila sa pangangamkam. Ngayon,
Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte, the former presidents, our former presidents, President Joseph Ejercito Estrada and President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri, and the honorable members of the Senate, House Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, and the honorable members of the House of Representatives, Chief Justice Alexander Gismundo, and the honorable justices of the Supreme Court, His Excellency, Most Reverend Charles John Brown, and the esteemed members of the Diplomatic Corps, Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin and the members of the Cabinet, First Lady Luis Araneta Marcos, former First Lady Imelda Romualdez Marcos, other distinguished guests, mga minamahal kong kababayan, ladies and gentlemen, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. 1 year ago today, I stood here before you, setting forth the plans that we have to improve our economy, bring jobs to our people, improve the ease of doing business, recalibrate our educational system to adapt to the new economy, lower and rationalize energy costs, boost agricultural production, enhance healthcare, and continue social programs for the poor and the vulnerable. Let me now report to the people on the successes that we can now lay claim to, and also the challenges that we continue to face. Last year, we emphasized certain strong headwinds that were confronting us along with the rest of the world in our post-pandemic economic recovery. And the biggest problem that we encountered was inflation. Maraming kaganapan sa mundo ang nakapagpagulo sa maayos na takbo ng pandaigdigang merkado. Bukod sa digmaan sa Ukraine, naroon ang patuloy na epekto ng pandemya. Pinalala pa ito ng pagbabawas ng produksyon ng mga bansang pinagkukuhanan natin ng langis. Nang tumaas ang presyo nito, nagsunura na rin ang presyo ng iba't ibang bilihin, ang gasolina, ang kuryente at ang pagkain. Ramdam sa buong daigdig, pati na sa Pilipinas, ang naging pagtaas ng mga presyo ng bilihin noong mga nakalipas na buwan. Sinuri nating mabuti ang sitwasyon. Sa tulong ng ating mga ekonomista, nakapagbalangkas tayo ng mga polisiya na magsisilbing pundasyon ng ating ekonomiya sa mga susunod na taon. Ito ay nakasaad sa ating medium-term fiscal framework na sinuportahan ninyo sa Kongreso. Kasabay nito ang paglulunsad ng mga estratehiya na mapalakas sa kakayahan ang ating mga kababayan at mga sektor ng ating ekonomiya. Nakakita po tayo ng magagandang resulta. While the global prospects were bleak, our economy posted a 7.6% growth in 2022, our highest.
maliwanag na sa aming lahat na ang Marcos, Araneta, Romualdez families ay mambubudol. Dasal po namin na magwakas na ang kanilang idinudulot na pahirap, pasakit at kahihiyan sa bayan. Amen. Mga kababayan, yours truly, Binibining Maharlika, the fair lady of the Republic. These honorable members of the Senate, these honorable members of the House of Representatives, Mrs. President Liza Ahas Muggs, First Gentleman Kuting ng Norte, Vice President Inday Sara Duterte, demoted by Tambaluslos, Senior Deputy Speaker Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, members of the Supreme Court in Justice, members of the corrupt cabinets, sa lahat ng matatapang, healthcare workers, seafarers, teachers, engineers, overseas Filipino workers, at syempre, to may bruskong palangga, at sa lahat ng puting ahas, mga kababayan. Noong 2015, nang ako ay unang makilala at nag-viral sa social media, sa pagkadismaya dahil sa pagbukas at pandurukot sa mga balikbayan box ng mga tiwali sa Bureau of Customs. At ang issue sa pagtatanim ng bala sa mga pasahero ng mga mandorobo sa ating airport sa NAIA. And the rest is history. Ngayong araw, tayo ay nagtipon-tipon sa pinakaunang report ko sa inyo sa lahat ng katiwalian ng kuting ahas, mafia administration. Isang taon pa lang ang nakalipas, ngunit ramdam na ng buong bayan ang pagtataksil, pagiging sugapa, at walang kapaguran na pagsipsip na parang linta sa kaba ng bayan. Mabuti pa ang linta kapag nabubusog, tumitigil. Pero ang mga politikong kasabwat ni Kuting at Ahas ay walang kabusugan at 24/7 kung sipsipin ang kaban ng bayan. Nasaan ang ahas ko? Pakihanap. Ang
growth rate in 46 years. For the first quarter of this year, our growth has registered at 6.4%. It remains within our target of 6 to 7% for 2023. We are still considered to be amongst the fastest growing economies in the Asian region and in the world. It is a testament to our strong macroeconomic fundamentals. Our financial system, the nerve center of our economy, remains strong and stable. Banks, the transmission arms of our monetary policy, have strong capital and liquidity positions. Stimulated by the relaxation of pandemic restrictions, transactions once again have flourished alongside the booming e-commerce that was undeterred by the pandemic in 2022. The digital economy contributed 2 trillion pesos, the equivalent of 9.4% of our GDP. The economy is revived and rejuvenated, backstopped by a favorable enabling environment and the strong rule of law. This year, the World Bank projects a 6% overall growth rate, well within the range of our targets for the year. It is anchored on strong local demand, underpinned by consumer spending, and draws strength from the BPO industry and, of course, the steady flow of remittances and the continuing jobs recovery. Inflation rate is moving in the right direction. From 8.7% in January, our inflation has continued to ease up in all regions, settling now at 5.4% for June. What this means is that in spite of all the difficulties, we are transforming the economy. We are stabilizing the prices of all critical commodities. According to the Bangko Sentral, inflation is expected to ease further by the close of the year and projected at 2.9% by 2024. On matters of the economy, there are many things over which we have no control. But over those where we do have control, we are doing everything we can. Puspusan ang ating ginagawa upang pataasin ang produksyon ng ating ekonomiya. Pinapalago natin ang mga industriya. Dinadagdagan natin ang mga infrastruktura upang mas mapabilis ang daloy ng mga produkto at ng serbisyo. Higit sa lahat, pinapalakas natin ang kakayahan ng mga mamamayan upang mapaganda nila ang kanilang pamumuhay. Ito ang punot dulo ng ating Philippine Development Plan. Investments in public infrastructure and in the capacity of our people through food, education, health, jobs, and social protection remain our top priority. For this year, economic and social services were allocated almost 70% of the national budget. Higher revenue collections will be critical in our bid to bolster public investments. Under our fiscal framework, we envision our tax and revenue efforts to further increase to up to 16.9% and 17.3% by 2028. Revenue generation has improved this year. From January to May, the Bureau of Internal Revenue has posted record collections amounting to 1.05 trillion pesos, an increase of almost 10% over the last year. For its part, the Bureau of Customs has also increased its collection by 7.4% for the first 7 months of 2023, amounting to 476 billion pesos. Since July 2022, we have seen increased revenues from PAGCOR of 47.9% and from the PCSO of 20%. We therefore seek, once again, the continued support of Congress to enact into law the policies and reforms under our fiscal framework. Sa mga nakalipas na buwan, nakita natin ang pagbaba ng presyo ng bilihin sa iba't ibang mga sektor. Napatunayan natin na kayang maipababa ang presyo ng bigas, karne, isda, gulay at asukal.
Unang achievement ni First Gentleman, Kuting ng Norte, ay ang pagtraidor nila ng kanyang asawa na tumatayong Mrs. President na si Liza Ahas Smugs sa kanilang spokesperson, Chief of Staff at Executive Secretary Attorney Vic Rodriguez. Yan ang pinakaunang achievement ng ahas na ito at ng kanyang asawang Kuting. Matatandaan ng nakaraang taon kung paano magtanim ng kasinungalingan, pagtripan at sirain ng mga bayarang asong julul ni Mrs. President ang dating Executive Secretary. Ang Philippine Charity Sweepstakes na pinamunuan ni General Scammerger Mel Robles ay walang habas na nagpapanalo sa loto. Pang-Guinness World Records na 433 winners na pumili ng pare-parehong six combination numbers na hindi ka panipaniwala. At kaduda-dudang mga nanalo, mayat-maya. Maniniwala ba kayo dun? Hanggang ngayon, wala pang investigasyon sa maanumalyang pagpapanalo ng mga mandorobo katulad ni Robles na nakapagpatayo ng bagong-bagong bahay. Pagkaupo pa lang sa PCSO, may bonggang-bonggang bahay na. Ang galing, di ba? Pabalik-balik rin sa London, sa United Kingdom at sa Europa kasama ang kanyang pamilya para rumampa gamit ang pera ng taong bayan. Nagkikita sina Robles at yung kasabwat na si Taning Pinoy na pinaaral ni Mrs. President Liza Smugs sa London, kapalit ng pagiging bagman at miyembro ng sindikatong gahaman. Si Mel, Taning Pinoy, Liza, at iba pa ay magkarugtong ang mga bituka sa pagnanakaw ng pera ng bayan. Ang Department of Agriculture Secretary, kuting ninyo, na inappoint ang kanyang sarili para protektahan ang mga kaibigang smugglers. Pinaburan ang mga kaibigang hoarders at illegal importers. Pinayagan ang mga campaign donors na mag-import ng asukal kahit ito ay illegal. Hindi malilimutan ang 700 to 800 pesos na kada kilo ng shabuyas dahil sa mga hoarders at smugglers na BFF ni Liza at ni Kuting. Ang business partner ni Kuting at ni Ahas na si Michael Ma na isa sa pinangalan ng smugglers sa Kongreso, pinroteksyonan pa ng unang pamilyang Ahas. Ang 20 pesos kada kilo na bigas ay isang malinaw na pangakong napako ni Kuting ng Norte. Matatandaan na hinagupit ng ang Pilipinas ng bagyong Karding noong Oktubreng nakaraang taon. Umabot sa 3 bilyong piso ang pinsala na idinulot nito. Ngunit, nakuha pa ni Presidente Kuting at ang kanyang pamilya kasama si Tambaloslos na sekretong nanood ng Formula 1 racing sa Singapore. Dakmaan sa Thailand, naalala ninyo? Dakmaan ng taong sa Thailand during state visit ni Kuting. Nagdulot ito ng kahihiyan at kalaswaan sa ating bayan. Ang pandadakma ng sariwang tahong ni Lolo Angping na asawa ng dating Presidential Management Staff Secretary Sinaida Angping. Hindi nyo makakalimutan yan, mga palangga. Ang New York State visit or US visit, ang pagbitbit ni Kuting sa mga payola, media reporters, mga kamag-anak, mga kabit ng politiko, mga corrupt cabinet officials na wala namang diplomatic role. Ang pagbukangkang ng Presidential Communications Office Undersecretary Emerald Ridaw sa New York na dating caddy na nangahunting ng Lolo Bells. Okay? Bumukangkang siya sa New York Stock Exchange at naghatid po ito, mga kababayan, mga palangga, mga puting ahas, ng katsipan at kahihiyan sa ating bayan. Ang pagbuking kay Michael Ma na sangkot sa malawakang smuggling ng asukal, galunggong, shabuyas, agri at non-agri products. Si Michael Ma ay business partner ni Martin Araneta, business partner ni Lisa Ahas Mugs, at kasama ang iba pang undersecretaries sa Office of the President at Presidential Communications Office.
Malaking tulong ang Kadiwa Store na ating muling binuhay at inilunsad. Ang layunin ng Kadiwa ay pag-ugnayin ang mga magsasaka at ang mga mamimili. Walang iba pang namamagitan. Wala nang dagdag, dagastos at patong. Maganda ang kita ng magsasaka, nakakatipid din ang mga mamimili. Sa mahigit 7,000 kadiwa na idinaos sa buong Pilipinas, 1.8 million na pamilya ang nakinabang sa mababang presyo ng bilihin. Sa kabuuan, halos 700 milyong piso ang naging benta ng mga ito na nakapagbigay ng hanap buhay sa mga membro ng mahigit 3,000 na kooperatiba at samahan. Maganda ang nakita nating resulta, kaya papalawigin pa natin ang Kadiwa sa buong bansa. Kamakailan lamang, Kamakailan lamang ay nagsanib puwersa na ang mga ahensya ng pamahalaan upang lalo pang patibayin ang kadiwa. Katuwang natin dito ang buong sektor ng agrikultura at ang lokal na pamahalaan. Our aim is to boost our local agricultural production through consolidation, modernization, mechanization, and improvement of value chains, augmented by timely and calibrated importation as needed. Nakita nating tumaas ng 2.2% ang sektor ng agrikultura sa unang 3 buwan ng taong ito. In our quest for food security, our methods are now more guided by science and the balance of nature, so that production is both sustainable and responsible, benefiting both this and future generations. Our fisheries codes must be revised to incorporate and strengthen science-based analysis and determination of fishing areas. This approach will protect both the interests of our fisherfolk and our fisheries and aquatic resources. To this end, we will seek the support of Congress to amend the code to guarantee sustainable development of our fisheries sector in harmony with environmental balance. Ipinagbubuklod natin ang mga magsasaka sa pamamagitan ng farm and fisheries clustering at mga livestock multiplier farms. 300 cluster na ang ating natukoy na binubuo ng halos 900 kooperatiba at may lawak na mahigit na 200,000 hektarya ng bukirin. Upang mas mapabilis at mas mapadali ang pagbuo ng kooperatiba, kakailanganin natin ang suporta ng Kongreso na maamyendahan ang Cooperative Code. Sa pamamagitan nito, unti-unting lalakas ang kanilang produksyon at puwersa sa merkado. Totoo ang kasabihan, mas malapas basta't sama-sama. Pinapalawak natin ang kanilang kaalaman sa makabagong mga teknolohiya at pamamaraan. Isa na rito ang paggamit ng biofertilizer na gawa sa Pilipinas at subok din at maaasahan. Sa balanced fertilizer strategy, gaganda ang ani ng mga magsasaka. Hindi na nila kailangan pang umasa sa mas mahal at imported na fertilizer. Bilang tulong sa mga magsasaka, namigay ang pamahalaan ng mahigit 28,000 mga makabagong makinarya at mga kagamitan sa iba't ibang dako ng Pilipinas. Sa ilalim ng iba't ibang mga programa ng kagawaran ng agrikultura, namigay ang pamahalaan ng mahigit na 50 milyong binhi ng palay, mahigit 1 milyong binhi ng mais, at sari-saring mga binhi ng gulay. Nagpamigay tayo ng mahigit 100,000 binhi ng niyog at nagpatanim sa halos 10,000 hektarya ng lupa sa buong bansa. Lahat ng mga binhing ito ay makabago, hybrid, at mataas ang kalidad. Sa naging pagtaas ng presyo ng gasolina at pataba, nagdala ng kaunting ginhawa ang mga fuel at fertilizer discount vouchers na ating pinamigay sa mga nahihirapang magsasaka. Ang mga natanggap nating donasyon na pataba mula sa China, pinimigay na natin kaagad sa kanila. Isa sa mga dahilan ng pagtaas ng presyo ay ang mga smuggler, mga hoarder at mga nagmamanipula ng presyo ng produktong agrikultural. Hinahabol at ihaabla natin sila. Sadyang hindi tama ang kanilang gawain at hindi rin ito tugma sa ating magandang layunin. Pandaraya ang kanilang ginagawa. Napapahamak hindi lamang ang mga magsasaka, kundi tayo rin mga mamimili. Kaya hindi natin papayagan ang ganitong kalakaran. Bilang na ang mga araw ng mga smuggler at hoarder na yan.
Ang pamilyang Marcos Araneta ay kasama ang smuggler na si Michael Ma sa iisang opisina at kapitbahay pa nila. Imbes na hulihin at panagutin si Michael Ma ay binigyan pa ng security personnel ng kuting at ahas na mag-asawang taksil sa ating bayan. Magaling talaga ang kanilang mga kasabwat. Dahil ito ang mga nabanggit na mga tarpolano na pinangalanan sa hearing sa Kongreso. Sina Lugin Ang, Andrew Chang, Beverly Perez, Aaron Nocum, Manuel Tan, Lea Cruz, John Diamante, Jerry Teves, Deputy Commissioner Venier Bakiran, at Deputy Commissioner Teddy Raval. Ang galing ng kanilang mga kasabwat. Ang codename pa nga na ginagamit ng First Family sa mga smuggling transactions sa Bureau of Customs ay Maharlika. Nakakaloka dahil royal family daw sila. O baka naman Maharlika ang ginamit para ako mapagbintangan. Hay, nako mga palangga. Talagang ibang klase ang administrasyon na ito. At prinsipe naman ang alias o codename ni Martin Araneta sa Bureau of Customs. Kaya pa ba mga kababayan? Ang pag-report ni dating National Security Advisor Clarita Carlos kay First Gentleman and Mrs. President na sangkot si Martin Araneta sa smuggling ay naging sanhi ng tuluyan na pagligwak kay Clarita Carlos, ngunit binigyan na lamang ng generous allowance ni Liza Smug si Clarita Carlos para tuluyan ng itikom ang kanyang ngangabels. Ito nga ang mga katagang sinabi ni Clarita Carlos kay Mrs. President Ahas or Liza Smugs patungkol sa NICA report ng pagkasangkot ni Martin Araneta sa smuggling. And I quote, "To First Lady, my report is confidential and I need to be honest and it did not leak to anyone but it's up to you and the President whether to do right or not. The food security is one of my focuses. And we need to be transparent so we can have policies against hoarders, whoever they are. Thank you very much for reading my sentiments in the foregoing. Thank you for the generous allowance you gave me yesterday. Truly appreciate it." End of quote. Lovingly yours, from Clarita Carlos. Malakanyang sponsored sugar smuggling na ipinag-utos ni Executive Secretary Bersamin. Siyempre, utos din ni Kuting at Ahas na mag-import ng asukal kahit wala pang sugar order galing sa Sugar Regulatory Administration or SRA. Matatandaan na sinabi ni Department gagayahin natin si Kuting. Gagawin muna ako kasi, di ba? Ganun siya. Okay. Matatandaan na sinabi ni Department of Agriculture Undersecretary Domingo Panganiban sa Senate hearing na inutusan siya at sinabihan siya ni First Gentleman Kuting ninyo. And I quote, "Let's do it ourselves. Let's import through selected importers." End of quote. Kaya naman, mga palangga, mga kababayan, personal na pinili ni Kuting at Ahas sina Michael Escaler na CEO ng All Asian Trade. Si Escaler, tingin tubig. Matutuyan ng lola niyo. Hindi naman tayo seryoso, di ba? Ayaw ba seryoso? Si Escaler, natutuyan ng lola. Si Escaler ay nagbigay ng 1.2 million pesos na campaign donation kay Liza at Kuting. Check dated October 26, 2021. Total, 2 checks ito. Worth 600,000 from all Asian trade Field Trust Bank account to at another 600,000 pesos na cheque dated October 27, 2021 from Equicom Savings Bank account. Hawak natin ang cheque. Ebidensya. At selected daw, sabi ng Pangulong, kuting ninyo, kaya naman sinelect o pinili ang pangalawang bonggang-bongga na si Ian Alvarado ng Sacden, Philippines. Okay. Mga kababayan,
mahalaga ang infrastruktura para masuportahan ang may 14 na milyong hektarya ng sakahan. Inayos natin ang geo-agri-map ng mga farm-to-market roads ng buong bansa upang maidugtong mabuti ang mga sakahan sa mga pamilihan. Alinsunod dito, karagdagang 600 kilometro ng mga FMR ang ating nilatag sa iba't ibang panig ng bansa. Binigyan din natin ng patubig ang mahigit na 49,000 hektarya ng bukirin sa buong Pilipinas. Nagpagawa tayo ng halos 4,000 mga karagdagang fabrication lab, production at cold storage facility na magagamit ng lahat. Sa tulong ng Kongreso, nakapagpatayo tayo ng 24 na multi-species hatcheries upang maparami ang produksyon ng mga isda. Nakabantay tayo sa anumang banta ng mga sakit at peste na maaring dumapo sa mga pananim at alagang hayop. Malapit na tayong magkaroon ng mga epektibong gamot at bakuna labang sa mga ito. Samantala, pinapalakas natin ang biosecurity levels ng mga alagang hayop bilang panlaban sa sakit. Tayo rin ay naghahanda sa El Nino na nagbabadyang tumama sa mga darating na buwan. Nagsimula na tayong maghanda at ang mga buffer stock at ang mga kagamitang patubig ay hinahanda na. Kung kinakailangan, magsasagawa pa tayo ng cloud seeding upang makapagdala ng ulan. Kasabay ng lahat na ito, hinihimok din natin ang ating sambayanan na magtipid ng tubig para sa malawakang paghanda sa banta ng tagtuyot. Tulad ng ating ipinangako, ipinagpatuloy natin ang reformang pansakahan. Mahalagang haligi ito ng sektor ng agrikultura na ating inaayos. Nitong nakalipas na taon, mahigit 70,000 titulo ng lupa ang ginawad sa mga benepisyaryo ng reformang agraryo. Tamang-tama ang ating pagpapatigil ng mga bayarin ng mga benepisyaryo sa ilalim ng ating nilagdaan EO number 4. 1 taon mula nung aking unang Sona na isabatas na ang bagong Agrarian Emancipation Act. Dahil dito, ang 57 billion piso ng utang na pinapasan ng mahigit 600,000 benepisyaryo ay tuluyan ng nabura. Sa ngalan ng mga magsasakang ito at ang kanilang mga pamilya, maraming salamat muli sa ating mga mambabatas. Ang tubig ay kasing halaga rin ng pagkain. Kailangan natin tiyakin na may sapat at malinis na tubig para sa lahat at sa mga susunod na salinlahi. Kasama na rito ang tubig na ginagamit natin para sa sakahan. Considering its fundamental importance, water security deserves a special focus. Our efforts must not be scattershot, but rather cohesive, centralized, and systematic. So given that urgency, we have created the Water Resources Management Office to specifically handle the delicate job involving this most precious resource. Nakikipag-ugnayan tayo sa Kongreso upang maipasa ang batas para sa pagbuo ng isang Department of Water Resource Management. This year, we have allocated 14.6 billion pesos for water supply projects, which will benefit communities all over the country. Recently, the water supply of NCR and Rizal received a significant boost from the first phase of the Wawa Bulk Water Supply Project. The water supply will increase as the project enters the second phase. We have installed 6,000 rainwater collection systems across the country in preparation for the looming dry spell brought about by El Nino. One of the keys to continuing economic growth is infrastructure development. So we will build better and more. Our 8.3 trillion peso Build Better More program is currently in progress and being vigorously implemented. Ang buong bansa ay makikinabang sa 174 na proyekto sa ilalim ng programang ito. Hindi lamang natin pinapagpatuloy ang mga nasimulan ng mga proyekto, lalo pa natin pinapalawak. Kaya naman, ang 123 proyekto dito sa Build Better More program ay bago. The flagship projects cover investments in the areas of physical connectivity, water resources, agriculture, health, digital connectivity, and energy. Physical connectivity infrastructure, such as roads and bridges, seaports, airports, mass transport, account for 83% of this program. Our infrastructure spending will stay at 5 to 6% of our GDP. The underlying logic to our infrastructure development is economic efficiency. We are opening up all gateways to mobilize goods and services at less cost and in less time, and ultimately to drive the economy forward. Our road network plans must link not only our 3 major islands, but all prospective sites of economic development. The 1,200-kilometer Luzon Spine Expressway Networks program will effectively connect Ilocos to Bicol from 20 hours to just 9 hours of travel.
Pangatlo, si Edwin Lee ng Edison Lee Marketing. Ang galing-galing talaga ni Kuting at Ahas. Ang talamak na pag-offload at paghingi ng mga unnecessary documents, mga nonsense na tanong ng mga immigration officers sa airport, dahilan ng pagkaiwan ng mga pasahero na ating mahal na kababayan na gusto lamang mamasyal sa ibang bansa. Walang pakialam ang gobyerno ni Kuting sa ating mga kababayan na nasayang ang hard-earned money na nagastos ng mga pasahero sa mga rebooking ng kanilang flights. At ang iba pa ay natutulog sa gilid ng ating airport na hindi na makabalik sa kanilang mga probinsya dahil wala ng pera. Dahil imbis na makalipad na yung ibang mga OFW kung anong kaletsyahan pa ang pinagagawa ng mga tiwali dyan sa Bureau of Immigrations sa ating airport. At ibang mga pasahero nga palangga, sabi ko nga kanina, ay tuluyan ng hindi na nakalabas dahil sa walang puso at walang awa at mga yawa na mga taksil na immigration officers. Huwag din kalimutan ang ilang beses na brownout sa airport na pahirap sa Pilipino at mga turista. O baka naman kaya nagba-brownout dahil sa pagpuslit ng 100 kilos na ginto noong nakaraang Abril galing sa New York. Naibahagi na natin yan sa inyo mga kababayan. Tayo na rin ang exporter ng pulburon o bawal na bato o Coca-Cola. Noong nakarang taon ay na-intercept ng Australian Federal Police ang 1.5 tons na illegal na bato at 450 kilograms na pulburon na trace ang shipment na nagmula sa ating mahal na inang bayang Pilipinas. Bonggang-bongga! Tayo na ngayon ang exporter ng bato o illegal na bato. Kaya nakipagtulungan ang bansang Australia sa ating Armed Forces of the Philippines at iba pang mga ahensya para hulihin ang sindikato sa likod ng pag-smuggle at pag-export ng bato at pulburon na ito na paborito, ding ting ting ding, ni Ahas at ni Kuting. November 18, 2022, ay naaresto si Mark Anthony Sayarot kasama ang French and Canadian national sa violation of Republic Act 9165 na dapat sana ay non-bailable. Pero pagkalipas ng isang buwan, ay nakapagpiyansa si Mark Anthony Sayarot. Ayon sa Puting Ahas, ay binigyan pa ni Kuting ng Norte si Sayarot ng security personnel, katulad ng ginawa nila kay Michael Ma na sangkot sa smuggling na business partner nila. Noong September ng nakaraang taon, kasama ni First Gentleman Kuting at ni Ahas, okay? Sa US State visit sa New York, si Sayarot. So you connect the, ayan mga kaibigan. Kasama ng Kuting at Ahas, First Family, si Sayarot at si Bullet Halushos noong September, ilang buwan bago siya mahuli ng ating mga kapulisan, ng ating mga men and women in uniform. Kasama na rin ni Kuting si Bullet Halushos na nagsilbing driver ni Sayarot, ni Mark Anthony Sayarot, nang gabing arestuhin siya. Ipakita natin muli ang picture dahil nung gabing nahuli si Mark Anthony Sayarot ay kasama niya si Bullet Halushos na finance officer ng Tape Incorporated na dati ng Itbulaga. Ayan mga kababayan. Ipinahiya tayo ng Tourism Department sa paggamit ng stock footage upang i-promote ang Love the Philippines logo.
Under the Mega Bridge program, 12 bridges totaling 90 kilometers will be constructed, connecting islands and areas separated by waters. The program notably includes the Bataan-Cavite Interlink Bridge and the Panay-Guimaras-Negros Island Bridges, each spanning 32 kilometers, and also the Samal Island Davao City Connector Bridge. As of June this year, we have constructed, maintained, and upgraded more than 4,000 kilometers of roads and around 500 bridges across the country. Crucial airport and port development projects across the country have also been completed, including Cebu Pier's 88 Smart Port and the new passenger terminal buildings of Clark Airport and the Port of Calapan. We initiated several railway projects with a total length of more than 1,000 kilometers. Notably, the southern leg of the north-south commuter railway system is now in full swing. In a few years, travel from Pampanga to Laguna will be reduced from 4 hours to just 2. Intermodal connectivity will also be a primary consideration. Roads, bridges, and mass transport systems will be interconnected. This network will provide access and passage to vital and bustling economic markets, such as agriculture hubs, tourism sites, and key business districts. For strategic financing, some of the nation's high-priority projects can now look to the newly established Maharlika Investment Fund without the added debt burden. In pooling a small fraction of the considerable but underutilized government funds, the funds shall be used to make high-impact and profitable investments, such as the Build Better More program. The gains from the fund shall be reinvested into the country's economic well-being. To ensure sound financial management, a group of internationally recognized economic managers shall oversee the operations of the fund, guided by the principles of transparency and accountability. This guarantees that investment decisions will be based on financial considerations alone, absent any political influence. The funds for the social security and public health insurance of our people shall remain intact and separate. Owing to favorable market conditions, the price of crude oil has stabilized. Since last year, gasoline and diesel prices have gone down by 18% to 29% respectively. We have built 8 new additional power plants. This brings to 17 the total number of power generation facilities that have been switched on across the country since last year, substantially increasing our energy production by 1,174 megawatts. Alongside power generation, we are also as relentless in pursuing total electrification. Since my assumption into office, almost 500,000 homes have been given access to electricity. We will spare no effort to achieve full household electrification by the end of my term. 100% is within our reach. When it comes to energy, renewable energy is the way forward. We are aggressively promoting renewables so that it provides a 35% share in the power mix by 2030, and then on to 50% by 2040. To accelerate the realization of this green energy goal, we have opened renewable energy projects to foreign investments. Since last year, an additional 126 renewable energy contracts with a potential capacity of 31,000 megawatts have been awarded. To date, we have over 1,000 active projects spread all over the country. 299 of these are solar, 187 are wind, 436 are hydroelectric, 58 biomass, 36 geothermal, and 9 are ocean-powered. The Malampaya project has been a boon to our country, energizing 20% of Luzon. The renewal of the contract guarantees continued revenues and energy production for another 15 years. But aside from Malampaya, we will also push for more gas exploration in other parts of the country. The national government has also partnered with the BARM in regard to energy exploration and development, and also its utilization within its territorial jurisdiction. We therefore expect to see renewed investor interest in its promising sites. We finally have a unified national grid with the interconnection of the Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao grids. The one grid, one market will enable more efficient transfers and more competitive pricing of electricity throughout the country. However, 68 grid connections are much delayed, according to the ERC's count. We are conducting a performance review of our private concessionaire, the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines. We look to NGCP to complete all of its deliverables, starting with the vital Mindanao, Visayas, and Cebu Negros Panay interconnections. Habang pinapabuti natin ang lagay ng ekonomiya, pinapalakas din natin ang kakayahan ng Pilipino. Ito ay sa pamamagitan ng mahalagang armas ng edukasyon, magandang kalusugan at trabaho. Malaking bahagi ng pondo ng pamahalaan ay inilaan para sa mga ito. Sa ating pagtahak sa kaunlaran, walang mamamayang Pilipino ang maiiwanan. Para sa atin, ang bawat buhay ay mahalaga. Anuman ang edad, kasarian, pangkat, relihiyon o pisikal na kondisyon, sila ay kukupkupin at tutulungan. Naglalaan tayo ng sapat na pondo para sa mga paglingap ng mga lubos na nangangailangan. Layunin natin na sila ay makabangon, mabigyan ng sapat ng kakayahan at maging produktibo. Hindi lamang DSWD, kundi pati ang DOLE, ang DepEd, TESDA, CHED ay tumutulong sa ating mga kababayang nangangailangan. Ang AIX, TUPAD, TVET for Social Equity, Social Pension for Indigent Senior Citizens, at ang Cash for Work para sa mga PWDs ay ilan lamang sa mga mahahalagang programa ng pamahalaan para sa kanila. Nariyan din ang Integrated Livelihood Program Kabuhayan upang matulungan ang mga maliliit na negosyo. We are inclusive in our pursuit of social protection. The pension of the military and the uniformed personnel is as important, as urgent, and as humanitarian as that of all other civilian Filipino employees. Efforts are underway to make it fully functional and financially sustainable. We are once again working closely with Congress to ease the transition from the old system to the new one, so as to be able to guarantee that no effects are felt by those in the uniformed services. Nagsisimula ang lahat sa edukasyon. Ito ay para palakasin ang isip at kakayahan ng bawat Pilipino. Ang ating butihing Vice Presidente, na kalihim din ng kagawaran ng edukasyon, ay tumutulong upang tiyakin na ang bawat batang Pilipino ay mabibigyan ng nararapat at kalidad na edukasyon. We have renewed hope in giving the best to our next batches of students, especially the 28.4 million learners who return to school this year. Learning recovery will be at the forefront of our education agenda. The Matatag Agenda for Basic Education has been launched, focusing on relevance of curriculum, rapid and responsive delivery, and the welfare of both learners and teachers. We are augmenting as well our school workforce. 90% of the newly created teaching positions have now been filled, while additional administrative personnel have been hired to unburden the teachers of any extra load. Taking to heart the lessons of the pandemic, alternative delivery modes and blended learning methodologies have been adopted to ensure unhampered learning. Additional social safety nets, such as school-based feeding programs, are also being implemented. Learners will be made more resilient. Our public schools and facilities are being increased and fortified. The shortage of classrooms and facilities is being addressed. Aside from new construction, schools and facilities are being retrofitted to become ready for the future, ready for hybrid and high-tech learning, and also climate-ready and disaster-proof. Through the DepEd Partnership Assistance Portal, private sector partners continue their assistance in the rehabilitation and improvement of schools as part of their corporate social responsibility programs. We are recalibrating the K-10 curriculum to ensure that it is always relevant, responsive, and at par with international standards. Literacy and numeracy skills need to be strengthened. The virtue of good citizenship and sense of community are also now integrated into our curriculum. We continue to exhaust all efforts to keep our young people away from the sinister influences in the dark corners of society. We are making available to them their participation in formal schooling, alternative learning, non-diploma courses, or in technical vocational education and training, or TVET. TVET continues to prove itself to be an empowering educational intervention. There are many examples of how its graduates have gone on to secure competitive technical jobs. Since last year, more than 1 million Filipinos graduated from the TVET. one-third of whom were TESDA scholars. More and more of our higher education institutions have reached world-class status. This year, 52 Philippine HEIs have been included in the World Universities rankings compared to just 15 last year. We will not let a student's financial constraints be an hindrance to his or her education. We have activated social safety nets, such as skills development training and youth employment programs. Tertiary education in state universities and colleges will remain free for our qualified students. Last year, out of the 4.1 million enrolled college students, almost 50% were beneficiaries of the country's free higher education under the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education program. Deserving and talented students without the financial capacity to attend school will not be left behind in this education agenda. A culture of innovation, working hand in glove with a culture of entrepreneurship, must be fostered. This is Philippinovation. Science and technology, especially R&D, will be at its foundation. The DOST leads the development of our capabilities in science, technology, and innovation. Science and technology-related scholarships are made available for the talented and technically gifted students from high school all the way to graduate school. To address the challenge of staying at the cutting edge of technology, 44 renowned Filipino scientists in diverse areas of expertise have returned home under the Balik Scientist program. They will undertake research in various priority fields and will be supported by upgraded facilities and R&D funding. The Philippines has launched 2 additional satellites into space. Together with the first satellite, they will track weather, predict storms, evaluate soil and water supplies, analyze shifts in population, and be used for traffic management, geohazard mapping, risk assessment, and even including security and defense. Science, technology, and innovation will drive the quality and competitiveness of our workforce, as well as our manufacturing, export, creative, and service industries, in existing markets and in new ones waiting to be explored. The bane of the mismatch between jobs and skills among our workforce is being rectified through strengthened government, industry, labor, academe partnerships, and the continuous reskilling and upskilling training programs that we have put before our workforce. For our seafarers to continue to excel, maritime education in the Philippines has been strengthened. This will progress and solidify our country's position as a global maritime hub through the steady supply of competent Filipino seafarers to foreign merchant marine vessels.
At video ad campaign worth 50 million pesos. Ito ay maliwanag na pandarambong. Magkasabwat ang magtiyahin na si Paul Soriano at Liza Ahas Mugs at Tourism Secretary Maria Cristina Frasco sa fiaskong ito. Gumastos ng multimilyong piso para sa slogan na "We give the world our best", na ipinaskil sa Amerika, sa Middle East, at sa London. At ang tema ay parang alila at parang binibenta tayo sa mga dayuhan. Ito ay pinagkitaan ni Paul Soriano gamit ang kanyang personal company na 1017P. Ito ay labag sa batas at labag din sa batas ang pag-appoint ni Kuting sa isang American-born or American citizen na tulad ni Paul. open secret din ang pag-private message or direct message ni Paul Soriano sa mga kabataang kababaihan na niyayaya niyang lumabas at makipagtsuktsakan. Kaya ito ang dahilan na tinanggal siya sa pamumuno ng production ng second Sona ni Kuting or the state of nothing achieved, which is nagaganap kasabay natin ngayon. Ano kaya ang masasabi ni Tony Gonzaga sa kanyang asawa na nangangati ang putotoy? Roar? Ay, nakakaloka na talaga ang ginagawa ng gobyernong ito. Hindi rin pahuhuli ang PAGCOR sa pagpalit ng logo na nagkahalaga ng 3 million pesos. Ito ay malinaw na korupsyon dahil ang logo ay nagkakahalaga lamang ng 3-5 katsipan. At hindi lang nagtatapos sa logo ang issue dito, mga kababayan. Dahil papalitan nila mga giveaways, mga envelopes, at iba pa ng logo na ito. At multi-million, not only 3 million pesos ang makukurap dito, kundi multi. Baka billion pa. Pledges at pagiging jet setter ni Kuting. Naglamyerda si Kuting sa Indonesia, Singapore, Cambodia, Thailand, Belgium, China, Switzerland, Japan, USA, at United Kingdom para sana makakuha ng investments. Puro pledges lamang. Puro pledges. Ang kanyang ipinangako at ang kanyang mga sinabi. Ngunit, walang naisakatuparang investment mula sa kanyang paglamyeda, sa halip ay naglustay lamang sila ng ating pera. Kaya naman, dahil walang naging successful sa mga pledges, tumutok na lamang si Kuting sa pagsabatas sa Maharlika Investment Fund. Ang Maharlika Investment Fund ay isang pambubudol, ng ahas at ng kanyang pamilya. Dahil pinaniwala ang taong bayan na ideya ng anak ni Kuting na si Sandro Muning Meow. Pero ang katotohanan ay ideya at last will ni former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. at First Lady Imelda Marcos. Ang Maharlika Fund na nais ng mag-asawa ay ipamahagi sa Pilipino ang 90% ng kanilang mga assets at 10% naman sa immediate and extended families ng mag-asawa. Punta naman tayo sa build. Ipinagpatuloy naman ni Kuting ang build ng Duterte administration. Ngunit, hindi ang pag-build ng mga infrastructures na para sa Pilipino. Sa halip, nag-build ng mga kani-kanilang bahay ang mga ginayupak na kawatan. Ito ang mga nakalap nating listahan ng mga nag-build ng kanya-kanyang bahay noong nakaraang taon, ilang buwan pa lamang nang nakaupo si Kuting. Siyempre, ang pinakauna, mismo ang First Ahas family na may bagong mansyon sa San Fernando, La Union na malapit sa isang malaking resort at bagong bahay sa Iloilo na gagamitin ni Kuting at ni Ahas para sa kanilang mga anak to establish the residency in Iloilo para sa 2025 election. Sobrang ganid, sobrang gahaman, sobrang sugapa. Next, Special Assistant to the President Anton Dark Choco Lagdameo na nag-build ng more than 1 billion pesos worth na bahay sa Forbes Park. Sabi ng kanyang tagapagtanggol, mayaman naman siya eh. Bakit mo pinakikialaman, Maharlika? Chikadora ka lang. Paano makakabili si Dark Choco ng 1 bilyong piso o mahigit na bahay kung 100 million pesos lamang ang kanyang declared assets? Philippine Charity Sweepstakes General Manager Mel Robles nakapagpatayo ng bahay at kapag kaarawan ng kanilang aso, literal na aso, cute na aso, cute pa sa kanila, ay gumagastos ng multi-milyong peso sa kanilang mga parties. Ang dating ng limos sa netizens nung namatay ang kanyang kapatid na si Jojo Robles sa pakipagsabwata ni Taning Pinoy na scholar ni Lisa at Bagman. Ngayon ay nakapagpatayo ng hindi lang isang bahay, ngunit multiple houses at nakakapag-travel, labas-pasok sa London, sa ibang bansa. Para ano? Para mag-deliver ng drug money or nakaw sa pera ng bayan papunta kay Taning para itago sa mga offshore accounts nila. Chief of Staff ni Tambaloslos, nakapagpatayo rin ng bahay. Yeye Vivas, Chief of Staff ni Sandro Muning, meow, aka Charis, nakapagpatayo rin ng bonggang-bonggang bahay. Imagine nyo mga kababayan, for less than a month, for less than a year, pagkaupo ni Kuting, imbis na mag-build para sa bayan, nag-build para sa kanilang mga sarili. Presidential Advisor on Creative Communications Paul Soriano na nagpatayo ng bahay panibagong bahay sa McKinley Village. Paano makakapag-build ng mansyon si Paul Soriano kung ang sweldo niya ay piso kada taon? Jutang ginina. Yawa. Lokohan na ito mga kababayan. Nag-build ng tatlong bahay at resort si Philippine Ports Authority General Manager J. Santiago. Hindi isa, hindi dalawa, tatlo, at meron pang resort. Ipinakita ko sa inyo yan sa mga nakaraang vlog natin mga kababayan. Build ng mansion ni Tourism Secretary Frasco sa Cebu na 120 million pesos. At marami pang ibang mga appointees ni Kuting ang patuloy na nag-build ng kanya-kanya nilang bahay. Ang pagpapalaya sa nahuling gun runner na si Amit Chandiramani na inarbor ni PCSO General Manager Mel Robles. Nakita nyo naman yan. Walang nagawa ang ISAF, ang CIDG, Cavite Police, Provincial Office at Special Action Force noong June 22, ngayong taon, kundi palayain ang suspect dahil ginamit ni Robles si Liza Ahas Smugs na kanyang padrinong ahas, kaya wala, laya na ang gun runner. Ang Pogo Operation ni Tambaloslos, Martin Romualdez, ni DOJ Secretary Remulla Bonjing at DILG Benhur Abalos ay hindi rin pakakabog sa pandarambong dahil nung nakaraang buwan ay ni-raid ang kanilang mga kakumpetensya na Pogo operators para solohin ang negosyong Pogo sa ating bansang Pilipinas. Ang pagpapalaya sa anak ni Remulla na sangkot sa bawal na damo. Ay, nako. Kaya niyo pa, mga kababayan? Ang pabago-bagong statement ni Boying sa kaso ni General Bantag at Congressman Teves. Ito ay malinaw na power tripping. Ang pangingialam ni Liza Ahas, ni Bibot Nulanan, mga kaibigan natin to mga to. Not anymore. Pagcor Chief Al Tenco, Tambaluslos Romualdez, at iba pang kasabwat sa Okada, Manila dispute ay isang patunay na inaabuso ang kanilang power para gipitin ang mga foreign investors katulad ni Mr. Okada. Huwag ka mag-deny, Lisa. Oy, huwag ka mag-deny, Day. Okay? Hawak ko ang ebidensya, ang picture mo na nakikipag-meeting ka at humihingi ka ng cut o share sa negosyo ng Okada, Manila. Nakipag-meeting ka sa mga tiwaling executive officers ng Okada. Sobrang sugapa mo naman. Ang pagsusolo ni Martin Tambaluslos Romualdez sa negosyo sa loob ng Kongreso sa pakikipagsabwatan ng Committee on Appreciation head na si Congressman Zaldico. Na kapag kaibigang congressman ka ni Tambaluslos, bibigyan ka ng mas mataas na budget at 20% lamang ang cut na kukunin nila. Pero, kung hindi ka kaibigan, ay 40 to 50% ang cut ni Tambaluslos at ni Zaldico. Ang pag-demote ni Tambaluslos sa dating Senior Deputy Speaker Gloria Macapagal Arroyo dahil sa ambisyon na tumakbo bilang Pangulo at labanan si Sara Duterte sa 2028. Ang iligal na paglipat ng 4 bilyong piso na pondo mula sa Department of Information, Communications and Technology o DICT papunta sa MMDA. Sangkot dito si Abalos at MMDA Chairman Artes. Kinansel na rin ang hearing sa Kongreso sa isyung ito. Ang paniningil ni Liza sa mga appointees, paghingi ng diamonds, paintings, kapalit, ay ballpen, ng meet and greet sa gustong magpa-appoint, right? At magnegosyo sa gobyerno. Ang pagtanggap ni Sandro Marcos, aka Sandro o Charis Muning Miao, sa regalong Rolex ng aking kaibigan na si designer Abel Bacudio, ay labag, dating kaibigan, sa Republic Act 6713 o Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards ng mga public officials. Ang pagtanggap ni Yeye Vivas, Chief of Staff ni Sandro, sa 100 million na payola mula kay Jella Pahati na suhol sa kanilang pagpa-facilitate ni Yeye at Abel sa project ni Pahati sa Department of Public Works and Highways. Grabe. 100,000 kay Yeye, 60 million, not 1,000, 100 million, I stand corrected, kay Yeye at 60 million kay Abel at kanyang kapatid. A1 information. Ang total of 160 million na suhol sa kanila ni Pahati ay mula sa matagumpay, cheers, na deal sa Department of Public Works and Highways. Ang mga kickback ni Pinky Romualdez sa DSWD bilang in charge sa procurement at bidding ay hindi rin pakakabog. Smartmatic na nilabanan ni Kuting for 6 years dahil siya ay dinaya at kasama ang inyong lingkod na nakipaglaban dahil ayon sa Kuting, siya ay dinaya noong 2016 election. 6 na taon akong sumuporta sa kanila para mapagbayad o matanggal sa Pilipinas ang Smartmatic. Sinabi pa nga ni Kuting, and I quote, maliwanag na talagang Smartmatic ang kanilang pinagbibili. Ang binibenta nila ay hindi election system, kundi ang binibenta nila ay dayaan system. Dahil maliwanag na. It has driven Belgium, Germany to return to manual system of counting because maliwanag na talagang maraming witnesses ang sistema ng Smartmatic at saka yung Smartmatic mismo. I'm sorry, I have to say this. It seems a little harsh, but they are not there to sell electronic election system. They are there to give a method of cheating to whoever pays them the most. Ganun lang kasimple yon. End of quote. Yun po ang sinabi ni Kuting.
The question about the European Union's recognition of the standards of training of Filipino seafarers has, after 17 years, finally been resolved. This development now effectively maintains the Filipino seafarers' distinct competitive advantage in the global shipping labor market. To address the current shortage of healthcare professionals in our country and to help us achieve our goal of universal healthcare, we are greatly expanding our medical and nursing education programs. We will push the envelope even further. We are helping nursing graduates hurdle their board exams so that they will obtain their licenses and join our pool of healthcare professionals. Ang kalusugan ang ikalawang armas para sa lakas ng pangangatawan ng bawat Pilipino. Isinusulong natin muli ang kalusugan ng Pilipino. We are now refocusing our health priorities, applying the lessons learned from the pandemic and addressing the weaknesses that it has exposed. Healthier communities and lifestyles are our advocacy. We have launched convergent programs to address hunger and nutrition-related issues amongst our people, especially the children, like stunting and wasting. Last week, we introduced the pilot food stamp program, which seeks to supply the nutrition needs of the 1 million most food-poor Filipinos. The FSP shall complement our nutrition continuity programs, such as the First 1,000 Days program, which ensures nourishment for the first 3 years of a child's life. The supplemental feeding program is for our children attending daycare centers. The K-6 program will feed kindergarten to grade 6 public school students who are suffering from wasting and severe malnutrition. We are catching up on the routine vaccinations of our children. As of this year, more than 80% of our eligible children have been vaccinated against measles, rubella, and polio. Nananawagan ako sa lahat ng mga magulang na kumplituhin ang mga bakuna ng kanilang mga anak at magtungo sa pinakamalapit na health center para sa mga libreng bakuna. The whole of society must exert efforts to suppress the alarming rise of tuberculosis and HIV/AIDS. To stem the tide, the strategic plan is to ensure early diagnosis and treatment and ample testing sites and medications. Our healthcare system is undergoing structural changes. Public health facilities are being increased, both in number and in capability. Last year, more than 3,400 projects were completed to improve capacity for specialized medical treatment. Specialty centers in various fields are being established and integrated into our government hospitals. And the last year, additional 60 specialty centers have been opened to the public. Just last week, we inspected the site of what will soon be a 5-hectare multi-specialty center in Pampanga, which will specialize in pediatrics, cardiology, kidney, and cancer treatment. We are working for a more direct, efficient delivery of services through integrated primary care providers and networks in partnerships with the LGUs and our partners in the private sector. These shall, of course, be supported by what is now a better and more efficient PhilHealth. Ang presyo ng mga mahalaga at pangunahing gamot ay bumaba ng humigit kumulang ng 40%. Mayroon ding iba na bumaba na hanggang 70%. Aside from the maximum retail price regulation being implemented, strategic VAT exemptions also lowered the prices of 59 essential medications such as those for cancer, diabetes, hypertension, kidney disease, and mental illness. Palapit ng palapit na tayo. Palapit na tayo sa hangarin na ang lahat ng Pilipino ay makakakuha ng serbisyong pangkalusugan. Sa ngayon, mahigit 93% na ang kasapi sa PhilHealth. Sa pinagandang konsulta package ng PhilHealth, 21 klase ng mga gamot at 13 laboratory service ang ibibigay ng libre. Ngayon, meron na tayong mahigit 2,000 konsulta center sa buong bansa. Ang bilang na ito ay mas marami ng 35% mula nung nakalipas na taon. Upang mas lalo pang makatulong sa mga pasyente, ang dating 70 libreng dialysis session ay inakyat na natin sa 156. Mga kababayan, libre na po ngayon ang dialysis para sa karamihan ng Pilipino. Noong nakalipas na taon, mahigit 3.4 milyon na Pilipino ang nabigyan ng tulong sa ilalim ng Medical Assistance for Indigent Patients, program ng DOH. Tinutugunan natin ngayon ang ating kakulangan sa mga doktor at mga nurse sa pamamagitan ng mga reforma sa edukasyon, patuloy na pagsasanay at paniniguro sa kanilang kapakanan. Naglagay po tayo ng doktor sa halos 200 munisipyo sa bansa. Lalagyan natin din ng doktor ang natitirang 19 na bayan na wala pang doktor. Upang masuklian naman natin ang naging sakripisyo ng ating mga health workers sa pribado at pampubliko ng mga ospital nung nakaraang pandemya, ipapamahagi na sa kanila ang kanilang COVID Health Emergency Allowance at iba pang mga nabinbing benepisyo. Kasabay ng pangangalaga natin sa edukasyon at kalusugan ng ating mamamayan, tinitiyak din natin na may sapat at magandang hanap buhay sa loob at maging sa labas ng bansa. As of May this year, our employment rate rose to 95.7%, clear proof of the improvement from the severe unemployment that we experienced during the height of the pandemic. Employment then was at a low of 82.4%. But even with our current high level of employment, we must do more. We will generate additional jobs for the remaining 4.3% of our workforce, as well as for the 11% 0.7% underemployed Filipinos seeking better employment opportunities. Under the banner of our fast-growing economy, we are aggressive in our investment in business promotions and facilitations. For that, we have not limited ourselves to the local economy, but we have looked to the global economy for partnerships and agreements. Our independent foreign policy, a friend to all and enemy of none, has proven effective. We have formed strategic alliances with our traditional and newfound partners in the international community. We have embarked on foreign trips to promote the interest of the country for peace building and for mutually beneficial purposes. These economic missions have yielded an estimated total investment value of 3.9 trillion pesos or 71 billion US dollars, with a potential to generate 175,000 jobs. The implementation of recent economic reforms is underway. BOI-approved investment projects have reached 1.2 trillion pesos during our first year, while other strategic investments approved for processing through the newly established green lanes amount now to 230 billion pesos. Our existing bilateral and multilateral trade agreements, notably within the ASEAN framework, and with Japan and with Europe, and allow us to leverage our competitive advantages and reap economic benefits. We will continue to forge more of these international partnerships that will lead to a more balanced trade strategy and a healthier economic position. The Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, or RCEP, is now in force. It is a multilateral trade arrangement with the ASEAN and other countries. 93% na ang kasapi sa PhilHealth. Sa pinagandang konsulta package ng PhilHealth, 21 klase ng mga gamot at 13 laboratory service ang ibibigay ng libre. Ngayon, meron na tayong mahigit 2,000 konsulta centers sa buong bansa. Ang bilang na ito ay mas marami ng 35% mula nung nakalipas na taon. Upang mas lalo pang makatulong sa mga pasyente, ang dating 70 libreng dialysis session ay inakyat na natin sa 156. Export powerhouse, we must continue to nurture the growth of the services sector, particularly the information technology business process management sector, and of course, the tourism industry. Our tourism has always been a reliable pillar of our economic growth through the years, providing livelihood to more than 5 million of our citizens. Because of the reopening of the economy and the phenomenon of revenge travel, this sector is headed for a great rebound. From January to June this year, we have received 3 million international visitors. This number is already 62% of our 4.8 million target for the entire year. Mga kababayan, ang lahat ng mga ginagawa natin ito ay magbibigay bunga sa libu-libong hanap buhay para sa ating mga kababayan. To create these investment opportunities, we must ensure that an enabling business environment is in place, that there is peace and order, and that the rule of law governs. We will solidify our country's reputation as an attractive and reliable investment destination. Building on institutional reforms of recent years, we have created green lanes for strategic investments and expedited the business processes in various sectors and investment modalities. A progressive and rationalized system of taxation is a component of the ease of doing business. The CREATE law has made our corporate tax and incentive schemes equitable and business-friendly. There are more structural tax reforms that must be introduced to allow us to reach our socio-economic targets. Digitalization is the call of today, not the call of the future, not the call of the future, but of the present. It is here, it is needed, and it is needed today. Government must fully embrace digitalization to provide better service to the people through its vital frontline services and its back-end functions. Digitalization will support the government's data-driven and science-based planning and decision-making. It is the greatest, most powerful tool, not just to improve the ease of doing business, but also against many forms of graft and corruption. Data shows that digitalization, in conjunction with government streamlining efforts, has significantly boosted efficiency. Notable examples are in the areas of government payments, company and business registrations, issuance of permits and licenses, loan applications, and revenue collection. All our digitalization efforts will be linked to our payment systems, whose digital transformation has been accelerating at a remarkable rate. Digital payments accounted for 42% of the total retail payments made in 2022, whether by businesses or individuals or by the government. Its high trajectory is now well positioned to achieve Bangko Sentral's target of 50% of total retail payments by this year. The eGov PH app has also been launched. As envisioned, all key government services are to be integrated into the single and centralized mobile app for the convenience of the general public. The national ID system will be at the core of this digitally transformed network of government services. It will fundamentally change the lives of each Filipino. At 87% total registration, we are now closer to establishing a complete, accurate, and reliable digital database of our own for the entire population. This has already been
maliwanag din na kaya pala pinanatili ni Kuting ang Smartmatic sa Pilipinas dahil nakipagsabwatan sila ng ahas niyang asawa noong 2022 election at gagamitin nila uli sa 2025. I hope magsalita na ang mga taong nakasaksi sa pakikipag-meeting ni Liza Araneta Ahas Marcos at ni Hubert Guevara, na Deputy Executive Secretary, sa Smartmatic, na patunay na sila ay nakipagsabwatan sa nakaraang 2022 election. Kaya ang 31 million Filipino na pinaniwalaan natin ay questionable dahil sa pakikipag-meeting ni Lisa at ng kanyang mga kasamang ahas at taksil at traidor sa lipunan sa Smartmatic. Kaya naman, hindi ba kayo nagtataka? Isang taon na ni isang pronouncement galing sa inyong presidenteng Kuting ay wala na kanyang hindi pinapayagan ang ginagawa ng Smartmatic sa bayan. Hindi ba dahil nanalo na siya ay gagawin niyang kasangkapan ang Smartmatic sa 2025 election dahil tatakbo pag hindi nagbago hindi nag-change plan ang pamilyang Kuting Ahas administration, tatakbo silang lahat. Si Lisa Smugs. Kaya naman patuloy ang paggamit sa pondo ng bayan para ilagay sa kanyang Love for All. Mula sa PCSO at ang budget ng PhilHealth ay ipapasok na rin sa Office of the President para mahawakan nila ang mga pondo. Ayan, mga kababayan, ang mga pondo sa kanilang maitim, ganid at sugapa na plano sa ikasisira ng ating bayan. Kaya maliwanag na paliwanag ang intensyon ni Kuting at pakikisabwatan ng Smartmatic sa Kuting at Ahas administration. Dahil ito ang kanilang sandata sa susunod na walang laman, eleksyon. Ang matibay na ebidensya sa pangingialam ni Ahas sa mga appointments ang odyong ito ang makakapagpatibay na si Liza ang presidente at hindi ang asawa niyang Kuting. Pakinggan natin ang audio na kung saan kayo na po ang humusga.
Hi, Emerald. Wow, this Trixie's a basket case, man. You know, she was there pala before in Duterte's time, and apparently she was such a troublemaker that Duterte looked at her and said, ikaw at ikaw, there are two people, you're fired, get out of here. That's why she ended up in Carambola. She's crazy, huh? 2.5 million for what? I don't think Bong knows about this, or maybe she's making it up, but what does she think? So now she's gonna pay trollers? To what? to make her, to praise her to high heavens like she did Vic. Oh my God, she really has to go. About Alex Lopez, the last time I saw Alex was maybe a month ago. He went to my office because he had to talk to George Garcia about his protest case. That was it. They talked for 20 minutes. And yun, grabe. This woman's insane, man. Don't mind her. Anyway, she's not going to be, whatchamacallit, she's not going to be appointed. So that's the end of that. Asha, bye-bye. Thank you.
She's not going to be appointed. That's the end of that. Pinakakalat ng Presidential Communications Office gamit ang kanilang mga dugyot, surot na mga trolls na in-impersonate ko daw ang boses ng ahas na yan. Ganun na pala ako kagaling mag-impersonate. Pero kapag ako ang mag-impersonate niyan palangga, hindi boses lasing at hindi boses ng nakapulburon. Dahil ang lola ninyo ni paghit-hit ng sigarilyo ay hindi ginagawa. Narinig ninyo na sinabi niya ang dating appointee na si Attorney Trixie Angeles na isang crazy, isang troublemaker at basket case o isang inutil o walang kwenta. Patunay na ang Mrs. President na ahas ay isang ugaling hindi lang lutang, kundi wala sa katinuan. Ang mga pananalita na ginagamit ay parang tambay sa ghetto. This was insane, man. Hindi ganyan ang abogadong nakapag-aral at isang First Lady, Mrs. President, na magsasalita ng parang walang aral. Ang Presidential Communications Office ay nagbabayad ng mga dugyot na trolls na nagbibigay ng payola sa mga taga-media. Ang amoy kulob na si Cheloy Garafil na inuutusan ang kanyang asawang si Eric Garafil na magbigay ng payolang tig 20,000 pesos sa kada media sa Marius Cafe sa Quezon City ang kanilang tagpuan para sa payola. Napakaraming mga bagay-bagay na mga pinaggagawa ng pamilyang ito. Okay? Dahil dyan mga kababayan, uurong muna ako ng konti at titignan ko kayo. Ayan, ang mga palangga ko. Rashid, Zorro, Cecil, Solid Maharlika nako. Ayan, ang mga palangga ko, nandyan muna kayo. Liz, hindi naman pakakabog. At dahil ang ating puting ng norte o ang ahas administrasyon ay sobrang sugapa at talamak ang kanilang mga ginagawa, aalayan natin sila ng kanta. Maestro, ihanda mo ang basket case. Paki-print mo na at nakalimutan ko. Pero ngayon, iba ang aking paki-print na maestro. Okay, ngayon kakantahan ko kayo ng May Bagong Bahay. May bagong bahay, may bago pang auto, bagong logo, bagong kamkam, sa bagong Pilipinas. Nagnanakaw ang lahat sa kanilang pagunlad. Ang lahat ay buwakaw, bagong pagnanakaw. May bagong jowa, may bago pang bahay, bagong logo, bagong kamkam, sa bagong slogan. Nagnanakaw ang lahat sa kanilang pagunlad. Ang lahat ay buwakaw, bagong pagnanakaw. Araw-gabi nagnanakaw ang lahat, sumisinghot hanggang magdamag. Madaling araw ay nagtsuktsakan hanggang umaga nila labasan. Ngumiti na ang ahas, hanggang umaga dilat ang mata. May bagong bahay, may bago pang auto, bagong kamkam, bagong logo, bagong kamkam, sa bagong Pilipinas. Nagnanakaw ang lahat sa kanilang pagunlad. Ang lahat ay buwakaw sa bagong Pilipinas. Ay, nako mga palangga, effort yon. Okay, mayroon pa akong dalawang kanta sa inyo. Alright, I hope kayanin ko. Na-print mo na. Yung basket case. O sige, dito na lang. Alright, mga palangga, ay kantahin natin, okay, ang paborito ninyo. Wait. Okay.
Been integrated into the eGov.ph app and can be now accessed by our citizens. Consistent with this transformative policy direction, all government offices must then ensure that their vital services are digitalized immediately. In response to this call, the Department of Migrant Workers launched last week the Department of Migrant Workers Mobile to make the journey of our overseas Filipino workers easier. Because of system upgrades, our internet speed has improved. As of June of this year, our fixed broadband speed ranks 47th amongst 180 countries. This ranking is 11 places higher than it was last year. Our mobile internet speed is now ranked at 83 out of 142 countries, which is 8 places higher than it was last year. There will be more improvements as our internet infrastructure undergoes further upgrades. Earlier this year, Starlink went live in the Philippines, now providing high-speed satellite broadband connectivity. Our national fiber backbone and broadband ng MASA projects will also deliver high connectivity and high-speed internet. We are prioritizing geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. The DICT has been directed to consolidate all these digitalized government services into the eGov.ph app, to establish the National Government Portal and the Philippine Business Data Bank to improve the internet speed in our country. With our e-commerce roadmap firmly in place, we are poised to take this digitalization drive further and beyond, utilizing e-commerce to take full advantage of new technologies. The first bill that I signed into law was the SIM Registration Act, because we are mindful of the risks and vulnerabilities that can lead to negative consequences. Digital users and consumers shall be protected from identity theft, phishing, other online scams through essential systems and safeguards, such as cybersecurity, data privacy, consumer complaint mechanisms, and financial literacy campaigns. The training is necessary To ease the transition of those whose jobs would be affected by the shift to digitalization are also now being included in the curricula and programs offered by TESDA, DICT, and other agencies of government. It is our wish that one day foreign employment will be driven by choice, not by necessity. It remains a noble calling that our OFWs have answered, requiring great sacrifice from them, their families, and their communities. We are engaging with our partners in the international community to ensure a safe working environment for our countrymen. And as we do so, we are also putting in place responsive mechanisms for the social welfare, repatriation, and reintegration of our returning OFWs into the Philippine economy.
Okay. No, paki-Google. Okay. Okay. Halika na, mangupit simutin ang pera. Huwag nang hintayin ang umaga. Walang pahinga, pangungupit ang ikaliligaya. Darating din ang karma. Basta tayo'y magkasama, kakayanin natin labanan ang mafia. Pagsikat ng araw, may dalang liwanag sa ating pangarap. Oh, haharapin natin, haharapin natin. Halika na, mangupit simutin ang pera. Huwag nang hintayin ang umaga. Walang pahinga, pangungupit ang ikaliligaya. Darating din ang karma. Basta tayo'y mga palangga, mga puting ahas, magkasama. Kakayanin natin lahat ang mafia. Pagsikat ng araw, may dalang liwanag sa ating pangarap. Oh, haharapin natin. Ay, nako, mga palangga, isa pa. Mag-comment kayo dyan. Pwede na ba tayo mag-speech dito at maging live performer? Okay. Dahil sumikat or nag-trending pala ang basket case at gusto ko mag-shout out sa aking mga palangga. Mommy Pebbles Talakera. Sa aking baby girl sa Astrogando na matapang din na lumalaban. Madam Eli Edwin Hamora Maria Reina Elena, Maitet Gonzalez, Helen Bratter, Don Rolando and Ana, sa lahat po ng aking palangga na kasama ko simula nung ako ay naging ganap na vlogger. Kung hindi ko man kayo mabanggit, I love you, darling. But this song is for Liza Smugs. Kaya pa ba? Inom mo tayong tubig.
As the world economy reopens, we are witnessing a rise in overseas Filipino deployment. In 2022, the number has increased by 62%. OFWs continue to send in historically high remittances, solidifying their role in our transformative economic growth. In 2022, our OFWs contributed $32.5 billion, or roughly 1.8 trillion pesos, to our economy. Several countries have also signified interest to explore bilateral labor cooperation with the Philippines in the areas of healthcare, tourism, hospitality, engineering, construction, and information technology. Recently, we signed agreements with Singapore, Austria, and the province of Alberta in Canada. Our priority is to ensure that the principles of ethical recruitment, fair employment, and the safe and orderly migration of our people are embodied in our agreements with other countries. For example, The deployment issue in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has now been resolved. And as of today, 70,000 of our OFWs have already been deployed to Saudi Arabia for employment. Moreover, the unpaid salaries and other related claims of some 14,000 OFWs who have been put out of work in Saudi Arabia during the pandemic are now being processed. The Crown Prince of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia himself personally committed to me that the unpaid claims of Filipino workers would now be paid. The continued employment of some 50,000 workers and the deployment of many more Filipino seafarers aboard EU vessels has also been assured. The lesson for us is that our education and skills training must always be attuned to the high, exacting, and constantly evolving global standards. Sa pagsusumikap ng mga mamamayan, walang hindi kakayanin. Kahit ang mga matatayog na pangarap ay maaabot, kasama ang inaasam na tahanan. Katuwang natin ang lokal na pamahalaan at pribadong sektor upang matulungan ang Pilipino sa pangangailangan ng pabahay. Patuloy ang serbisyo ng Pag-ibig Fund upang makatulong sa kanyang 15 milyong membro para makabili ng bahay. Sa nakarang taon, mahigit 100,000 ang kumuha ng housing loan sa Pag-ibig na nagkakahalaga ng 117 billion na piso. Ito ang pinakamataas ng bilang sa buong kasaysayan ng Pag-ibig. Itong nakalipas na taon, mahigit 148,000 na kabahayan at mahigit 30,000 mga Certificate of Eligibility of Lot Award ang naipamahagi sa Luzon, sa Visayas at sa Mindanao sa ilalim ng sari-saring mga programang pabahay ng pamahalaan. Mahigit 35,000 residential free patent at agricultural patent titles naman ang naibigay sa mga benepisyaryo nito sa buong bansa. Hindi pa dito natatapos. Papalawigin pa natin ang ating programa sa abot-kayang pabahay, lalo na para sa mga mahihirap nating kababayan. Itong nakalipas na taon, inilunsad natin ang pambansang pabahay para sa Filipino Housing Program o 4PH. Nagkaroon na tayo ng groundbreaking sa 25 lugar sa iba't ibang bahagi ng bansa. Nagpirmahan na rin ng kasunduan upang simulan ang mga proyekto sa mahigit 100 lokasyon. Kung susumahin natin ito, mahigit 1 milyong kabahayan ang maialay natin sa ating mga kababayan sa buong bansa. The building blocks of progressive, livable, and sustainable communities will never be complete without appropriate and responsible action to mitigate and to adapt to the effects of climate change. We can never lose sight of our responsibility to the future. The economic agenda cannot and will not ever be incompatible with our climate change agenda. Climate change is now an important criterion in our integral national policies, in planning, decision-making, up to the implementation of programs. The potential advantages of such enlightened policies extend to jobs and livelihood, with the unlocking of the development of the green and blue economies. We have learned many painful lessons from past disasters, but we continue to be alert and prepared in our disaster response. It has in fact been commented that sometimes we are over-prepared for such natural disasters. Well, to continue that, we are reorganizing our response teams to make them more adaptable, agile, and effective in times of calamities and crises, with a clear unity of command. Our evacuation centers are being upgraded to withstand the greater forces of the new normal of extreme weather, as well as other natural and man-made disasters.
Okay. Do you have that time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything at all once? I am one of those melodramatic fools, neurotic to the bone, no doubt about it. Sometimes I give myself the creeps. Sometimes my mind plays tricks on me. It all keeps adding up. I think I'm cracking up. Mga palangga, ayan. Dahil sa'yo yan. Dahil sa'yo lahat ang nangyayari, kaya ako napa-effort. Nyeta, nakakapagod mag-effort. Nakakapagod magsulat ng lahat ng kawalang hiyaan mo sa bayan. Kulang pa nga yun. For sure, may nakalimutan ako, pero gusto ko lang sabihin sa mga atraso mo sa bayan na hindi dapat kinakalimutan. Dahil lahat ng sasabihin ninyo na mga script ay hindi totoo. Dahil state of nothing achieved or state of address ng pambubudol. Kaya darating din ang umaga, nasaan na ang aking kanta, tinapon ko kasi. Ayan, wala na. Anyway, mga palangga. Ay, diba? Nakasaan niya ba yung logo ko, punyeta? Dahil lang. Order of the court. Point of order. Order of the court. Mga kababayan, dapat parusahan, panagutin ang mga plunderer, panagutin ang nagpapahirap sa ating mga kababayan araw-araw. Araw-araw sa Pilipinas, ni pambiling bigas, hirap na hirap ang ating mga kababayan. Pero ang mga ahas na katulad nito ay walang kabusugan para kamkamin ang pera ng bayan. Babangon kaming lahat, haharapin ka namin at ilalagay ka namin sa kumunoy. Doon ka nababagay. Mga kababayan, Cynthia Uy, Tinkerbell, Ingrid Martinez, Miriam Perez, Rihanna, at marami pang iba. Gising mga kababayan. Wala to sa speech natin. Ako po, ang inyong fair lady, Maharlika, na itinataya ang alindog, ang buhay para labanan ang mga sindikato sa ating bayan. Hindi biro ang banggain ang mga taong ito. Pinili ko na lang sana na mag-kiss ass sa aking dating BFF, best fake friend ever, na si Liza Smugs. Pinuri ko na lamang siya na siya ay sexy sa kabila ng mga pag-photoshop at pagtapyas ng kanyang katawan at ng kanyang mukha para sa personal na interest, para kumamkam ng milyong-milyong piso. Pero pinili natin, mga kababayan, na harapin ang delikadong landas para maghikayat ng mga matatapang na bagong Pilipino. Hindi tayo basta-basta papayag na huhut-hutin ng mga politiko hindi lang sa mafia sa Malacanang, kundi sa bawat sangay ng ahensya ng gobyerno. Magsimula sa barangay, kay barangay captain, papunta sa Malacanang, sama-sama silang kumakamkam muli, nagnanakaw muli. Kaya naman, ako'y nananawagan sa ating mga kaibigang men and women in uniform na please, mahalin at ipagtanggol nyo naman ang inyong mga lupang sinilangan. Sino pa ang aasahan ng mamamayan kung lahat kayo ay nakikipagsabwatan? Anong klaseng bansa ang mangyayari sa Pilipinas 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years from now? Kung maging kasangkapan kayo ng gobyernong ahas at kuting na uubusin, sasairin ang pera ng bayan, wala na ba talaga kayong awa? Sa tuwing paghigop nyo ng kape, paglantak nyo ng matatabang pagkain, na sana hindi na kayo magising, ay pera ng kaban ng bayan.
Furthermore, new evacuation centers are also being built, of which 55 have already been completed. We remain committed to global decarbonization goals and the reduction of our carbon footprint. We preserve and protect the treasure that is our forests. Their value to the environment, to the ecology, and the economy is incalculable. We have adopted the concept of the circular economy, using nature as our model. The aim is to keep raw materials in a closed loop. In our world with scarce resources, the circular economy allows us to fully use these resources, minimize waste, and reduce the need for new resources, just as it is in nature. Just like our climate change action, this new system requires the participation of all sectors of society, up to each individual citizen, for it to succeed. Only a whole of government and whole of society approach will enable us to do all of these. It is necessary to apply all the resources that are at hand if we are to progress as quickly as we need to. Collaboration is the key between and among government offices, and between government and the private sector, between industries and the academe, between government and international partners, and most importantly, collaboration between and among our populace. Kakailanganin natin ang tulong at kakayahan ng buong pamahalaan at ng buong bansa. And so, we shall do the same for the next 5 years. We seek not only to become more effective, but more, to become truly transformative. This approach will be operationalized through the interagency cooperations, as well as through coordinated efforts between and among the 3 branches of government and the independent constitutional bodies. We have organized private sector advisory councils and national local mechanisms to establish the needed linkages. Once again, on this same principle, I urge the government to enact a new government procurement law and a new government auditing code. This to make government procurement and auditing more attuned to these changing times. We will give effect to the mandate of the Constitution and the Local Government Code as clarified by the Supreme Court very soon. Almost all the required devolution transition plans of the LGUs are done. To fully prepare them for optimal devolution, the necessary technical and financial assistance is being extended to our local governments. In everything that we do, the enduring Filipino quality of bayanihan will still be our guide. 5 taon mula nung matinding kaguluhan, babangon na ang Marawi City. Nanunumbalik na ang sigla sa pamayanan, maraming proyekto ang nakumpleto at mga infrastrukturang naitatayo. Kasalukuyan na tayo nagpoproseso ng tulong pinansyal para sa mga biktima ng Marawi Siege upang sila ay makapagsimula muli. Naway mamayani ang pag-asa. Naway magpatuloy ang pagkakaisa, pagmamatyag at paghahangad ng kapayapaan at kaunlaran. We are proud of the progress that the BARM has taken. It will be self-governing. It will be self-governing, it will be progressive, and it will be effective. But this was only made possible because of the cooperation of all key groups. We talked to the local governments, the royal families, the MNLF, the MILF, were all consulted and represented in this transition phase. The international community has also supported us in this smooth transition. Former adversaries are now partners in peace. Its functions have been defined, and its basic laws are now being written. Through the BARM, we have strengthened the nation's prospects for finally achieving sustainable progress anchored on a true and lasting peace in southern Philippines. We will continue to support the progress of the BARM, apace with our singular vision for all Filipinos. A strong and stable rule of law will strengthen the foundation of our transformation. Our police and armed forces are being strengthened and modernized to be more effective in maintaining peace and order and in defending our sovereignty. We fully support the judiciary's efforts to improve the justice system and to protect constitutional rights. The campaign against illegal drugs continues, but it has taken on a new face. It is now geared towards community-based treatment, rehabilitation, education, and reintegration to curb drug dependence amongst our affected citizenry. Last year, we launched the Buhay Ingatan, Droga Ayawan, or BIDA program and established an additional 102 Balay Silangan Reformation Centers nationwide. We will relentlessly continue our fight against drug syndicates, shutting down their illegal activities, we will shut down their activities and dismantle their network of operations. Unscrupulous law enforcers and others involved in the highly nefarious drug trade have been exposed. I will be accepting their resignations. In their stead, we will install individuals with unquestionable integrity who will be effective and trustworthy in handling the task of eliminating this dreaded and corrosive social curse. We cannot tolerate corruption or incompetence in government. For almost half a century, some of our fellow Filipinos have taken to arms to make their views known and felt. We are now at a point in our history when their armed struggle has evolved. We have now progressed together towards peace and development. We have incorporated capacity building and social protection into our reintegration programs to guarantee full decommissioning of former combatants. Through community development and livelihood programs, the barangay development and enhanced comprehensive local integration programs have been effective in addressing the root cause of conflict in the countryside. To complete this reintegration process, I will issue a proclamation granting amnesty to rebel returnees, and I ask Congress to support me in this endeavor. Our journey to progress requires not only unity and social cohesion amongst our people. It is also imperative that our nation remains intact and inviolable, our sovereignty preserved. We will protect our sovereign rights and preserve our territorial integrity in defense of a rules-based international order. With our national interest paramount, we will always pursue constant dialogue and diplomatic approaches to the resolution of any issue that may arise. So the initial results of our efforts inspire confidence. Let us continue to be relentless in our aspiration of peace and progress. This has not been the work of a single person, neither a single branch of government, nor even the whole government acting alone.
Lagi kayong nagsisinungaling, nangangako tuwing eleksyon na ibabangon nyo ang buhay namin. Pero ang binabangon ninyo ang inyong mga kabit, mga kaibigan, mga asawa, ang inyong mga sarili. Ano ang nangyari sa Sona ni Kuting? Tapos na ba? Puro kasinungalingan ang ipapasa niya sa inyo dahil, mga kababayan, kung ang Kuting ng Norte ay naging tapat sa sambayan ng Pilipino, hindi niya hinayaan na ang kanyang anak, ang kanyang mga kaibigan, ang kanyang mga kamag-anak ay i-appoint, ang kanyang mga inaanak, i-appoint sa DSWD, sa lahat halos ng ahensya ng gobyerno, i-appoint ang asawa ng anak ni Kuting na si Little Amy na ngayon ay Big Amy na. Ito'y malinaw na ginagawa nilang negosyo ang gobyerno. Akalain ninyo na ang kanilang mga kamag-anak na nasa Amerika na namuhay na kung tutusin na maayos dito, hindi na nagugutom. Pero pinabalik ni Kuting sa Pilipinas para kamkamin ang pondo ng bayan. Marami po tayong magagaling na mga bata pa na mga Pilipino that are promising an honest people na pwedeng mag-serve sa taong bayan. Pero ano ang ginawa ni Kuting at Ahas? Nagkakasabwat-sabwat sila magsimula sa procurement hanggang sa bids and award committee para wala nang bidding para pasok lahat sa bulsa nila. Papayag ba kayo na hanggang sa huling hininga ninyo ay hindi nyo makita na magkaroon ng totoong pagbangon sa Pilipinas? Papayag ba kayo mga kababayan na gagamitin na lang ng mga pulpol at mga liyawa na politiko tuwing eleksyon at kakamkamin ang inyong mga tax money sa pamamagitan ng pagpapasweldo ng kahit ng kanilang mga katulong, yaya, hardinero na isinasama sa mga payroll. Matagal na ang isyong ito, pero paulit-ulit na lang. Hanggang kailan po tayo mga kababayan? Pinili ko na lang sanang manahimik dahil dito sa California, pwede na akong magpa-cute-cute na hindi ko naisipin ang aking bayan. Pero sa bawat pagising ko at pagtulog ko, parang wala po ako sa Amerika. Parang ako ay nasa Pilipinas. Dahil pagising sa umaga, ang naisip ko, magkano na naman kaya ang ninakaw ng mga jutang Genemes na mga politiko. Pagtulog ko, ipinagdarasal ko sa Diyos na, Lord, sana tama na, wakasan na ang mga kasamaan ng mga ngamkam na mga mambubudol sa ating bayan. Paano niyo ako pipigilan na magsalita ng katotohanan at magkaroon ng tapang, ng malasakit, ng pagmamahal sa lupang tinubuan? Dahil bawat dugo na nananalaytay sa aking ugat ay dugo na kahit kailanman ay hindi makakalimutan ang lupang sinilangan. Kailan nyo pipigilan ang mga traidor at pagtataksil ng mga politikong ito na pagharap sa kamera na akala mo yung mga santo, pero pag wala ng kamera ay mga demonyo, katulad na lamang ng recording ni Liza Smugs, Liza Araneta, na pinarinig ko sa inyo. Hanggang kailan mga kababayan? Gumising na, bumangon na, harapin natin ang mga mafyang ito. Narco country na ba tayo? Dahil tayo na ang nagtitimpla, ang gumagawa ng mga pulburon na sisira sa bawat kinabukasan ng ating bayan. Sana may darating pang umaga at sana talagang babangon tayong muli. Hindi ako nawawalan ng pag-asa na isang araw merong mamuno sa atin na talagang may tunay na pagmamahal sa ating bayan na kayang eradicate ang mga kasamaan, ang mga pagnanakaw sa ating bayan. Sa panahon ni Kuting at ni Liza Smugs o ni Ahas, pinaburan ang mga oligarkiya nilang kaibigan, mga negosyante. Paulit-ulit na lang ba? Ang gobyerno ni Kuting ay masahol pa sa lahat ng mga gobyernong nakaraan, lalo na sa mga Aquino administration, sa dalawang mag-ina na ating tinuligsa. Pero sinadya nga ng Diyos, ayon sa ating dasal kanina, na siguro nga ipinamulat tayo ng Panginoon na makita, dahil pinapangarap natin, nagkahati-hati ang Pilipino, na gusto nating mamuno muli ang isang Marcos. At ito na nga, binigay sa atin ang worst. Nakita na natin at hindi na muling mauulit. Mula dito sa California, sa gisag ng Maharlikang Pilipino, ang tigre ng LA, Binibining Maharlika. Maraming salamat mga kababayan. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas, maging matapang at huwag titigil na kondinahin at i-criticize ang gobyernong ahas at kuting.
This is the collective synergy achieved by all Filipinos working together. It took a whole-of-nation effort to achieve this immediate recovery from our pandemic slump. Unity was what made us rise once more. Nagsisimula pa lamang tayo. Ang pagbangon ng ating bayan ay magpapatuloy pa. Hinihiling ko ang inyong tiwala at pakikiisa. Sa ganitong paraan, makakamtan natin ang ating tanging hangarin, ang maginhawa, matatag at panatag na buhay para sa lahat ng Pilipino. Makikipagtulungan tayo ng mabuti sa Kongreso para sa mga mahahalagang batas na kinakailangan para sa ating tuloy-tuloy na pag-ahon. And once again, I appeal to Congress for its support for the following priority legislations. The essential tax measures under our medium-term fiscal framework, such as excise tax on single-use plastics, VAT on digital services, rationalization of mining fiscal regime, motor vehicle users charge, road users tax, the military and uniform personnel pension, amendment of the Fisheries Code, amendment of the Anti-Agricultural Smuggling Act, amendment of the Cooperative Code, new government procurement law, new government auditing code, anti-financial account scamming, Tatak Pinoy law, the Blue Economy law, ease of paying taxes, LGU income classification, and the Philippine Immigration Act. In the past year, it has been a source of great hope and optimism to me to now know that there is an enormous pool of highly competent and dedicated workers serving in our government. It is up to us to provide good leadership and guidance. They love the Philippines and have responded to our call. I have stated before that my confidence in our future was grounded in our world-class quality workforce, be they the farmers in the field, corporate giants, government officials, school teachers, health workers, or employees. That confidence has been further buoyed by the demonstration of love for the Philippines. Every Filipino has unanimously risen to the challenge that we have made to them to be part of our nation's future. Handa silang maghandog ng tulong dahil mahal nila ang kanilang kapwa Pilipino at mahal na mahal nila ang Pilipinas. And thus, with this in my heart, I know that the state of the nation is sound and is improving. Dumating na po ang bagong Pilipinas. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Yes.